I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is All the Mods Volcano Block. Today is going to be the day that we dive into more of the mystical agriculture. Now, we've dabbled a teensy little bit into this mod, but there has actually been some updates that I'm super excited to get into and play around with. That is going to involve an awakening mechanic. And this is also required for the in-game. So I am still on my journey of making the All the Mods star. And of course, in this journey, there is a lot of this mystical agriculture that's going to take place in this. So as you can see, Insanium coal is required, Awakened Supremium furnace is required, all kinds of stuff like that is going to be necessary. And we're going to need a few things. We're going to need fire essence, air essence, earth essence, and water essence. And of course, we need essence being produced. Thankfully, we do have quite a bit of essence. And this is all courtesy of our mob farm as one of the sources, and also our sifter over here that is sifting Netherrack. Now, currently, I did upgrade my Netherrack system, and what I'm using is a material stonework factory that is receiving lava and water with some max upgrades in here, and this is allowing it to basically send this a bit more. It's still not perfect. This could be maxed out, and we could be running 64 by 64. But I think with just a fortune mesh, this is producing quite a bit more than probably we'll ever need. And then you could also reincorporate some of the netherrack that it is producing and also generate some netherrack from that. I have been voiding it, and I think I want to maybe add some storage upgrades to this because later on we are going to need a bit. And I did go ahead and make this as well. I know, like throwing a lot at you. But this right here was a pattern that I made because the smithing table should actually be able to work. So if I go ahead and request this is the highest tier. This should make a netherite upgrade. And just like that, it acted as if it was a smithing table and it made one. So one of these upgrades will put it at 65k. But if you put two of them in there, that's when it really starts to jump. And so we should have had this going a long time ago because netherrack is going to be something that we actually need. So yeah, as soon as I put this in, we're going to see this now is at 2.1 million pebbles it can store, which is going to be a lot. And we're going to need definitely this and several other things towards in-game when we start to make the dimensional seed. Now, enough of that. We need to get into mystical agriculture. And well, the first thing I want to do is I want to automate that essence and I want to get it producing insanium all the way up to insanium. And with that insanium, we can then start to down craft. Now, I think you can craft insanium from within our applied energistics system, but I don't really want to do that. I think it'll be too slow. So what I want to use is, of course, the almighty RF Tools Crafter that we've already been using throughout this series. I think before I get the RF Tools Crafter set up, we should have these running while we're working on getting that set up. That way we have these essences available. And so for this, we're going to need an air essence. It does require like a few things, but one seed will get us up and running. Earth seeds are going to basically be the same sort of thing. And then of course, water seeds, it's a bucket of water. Yeah, let's see, water. There we go. We're going to have to, unfortunately, craft each one in. The cool part though about this mod, for example, with applied energistics, that is you can actually take a bucket. So if I had water set in here, let's do pink slime because we do have a bunch of that. You can actually just like click here and it actually fills the bucket from within your crafting grid. So I do need to get water set up in here. That'd make it a little bit easier. And then of course, fire essence is going to require lava in the same capacity there. Now, of course, all of these seeds come together to form the nations. Oh wait, that's a different series. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get these all put in and get them all crafted up. And I think I got everything in here. I am missing one. Boop, there we go. Honestly, watching seed crafting is probably not the most entertaining thing in the world. But yeah, it is something that I have to do and sit through. And you guys just get to sit back and enjoy, right? There we go. So this is the last seed I'm going to need. And I'm going to be setting this up the same way I've been doing it here. Basically, these machines are going to need to say extract and insert right here on both the same. And then, of course, getting some upgrades in them is going to definitely help as well. And that should be all the seeds, right? So we'll start off with air. And then by putting the seed in here, that means the other thing that it's going to generate is going to just automatically go into the top slot. And it's just going to continue to rotate through. And same goes for this and this one. And of course, this one. Very good. These are actually really nice because we can just, if we can craft buckets of water and lava with these recipes that the essence it produces. Now, at least we have one nice thing granted to us. We don't have that like crazy progression of crystals that you have to do to work towards the master infusion. So we can just simply craft a couple of basic infusion crystals, and these are going to work for everything. So, oh, this is just so much better than the other system that just requires you to like craft endless amounts of like progressively higher tier crystals until you reach the master. Now, of course, the master is just a premium, and so this will be pretty straightforward to put together. So just take basically a bunch of the essence and just continue to pass it through. I'm just going to toss it into the storage and then just continue to craft. And then of course, watch the durability, because eventually this will break. And that's why I generated more of these. And we may need more than 4. I don't know. You'll see also the color kind of dips out of these too once you get to a certain point. Yeah, all we need is 1 master infusion crystal, and then this is just ready to be automated. I don't want to believe this, but apparently all it took was 1 master or like 1 infusion crystal in order to make the master, and we still have more supremium left. So there we go. This has now unlimited uses and will craft through this incredibly fast. This is what we're actually going to use in our crafter here. So let's set up some logistics on the back of our storages over here. And yeah, we should be able to utilize some of this space. I just want to directly tap into this drawer. And what I want to do is just use a laser to go ahead and just send this essence up to a drawer that's up top here with laser IO. Now with this, ultimately what I want to do is I want to pull from this side. So we see we're facing the south. So that'll be on the south side, and we want to extract from here. And of course, we're going to max this out with our upgrades, making sure this is pulling out as much as it possibly can, which we can do by putting this in. Now, of course, we can make this even faster by putting the node overclockers in, but I think 64 every tick is going to be very, very fast. May be too fast for this. We'll see. The crafter, however, can be accelerated quite a bit. So we will get this set up before we link everything, but I want to go ahead and get this sending. So this node with the extract will be connected to this node, which up top here, we're going to have a send. And then this send is just going to send the ingredients here. And then we'll just need another extract here. And I don't think it's going to need to be max upgraded, but of course we can max upgrade it. And make sure this is set to extract. There we go. Nothing like overkill. And then we need another node that is going to go up to this top drawer here. And yet again, this will be on the south, and this will just be a send. So I will connect them up with the laser wrench, but for right now, this is going to get it done here. So let's start with this, because this is where all of the craziness starts to take place. I like to typically filter this out with each of the essences, but I guess we can go ahead and grab those by doing this, like so, and that should be plenty to get like one of each of the essences. And then we need to take this technically all the way up to Insanium. So I'm going to go ahead and make an Insanium. So there we go. And now we have all the ingredients ready to set this up. So I'm going to put my infusion crystal inside of here. This can be the main slot. A slot for Inferium, Perdentium, a slot to go... Let's see, I missed one. Slot to go to the Teridium. And then we have the Imperium. Then we go to the Supremium, and then last but not least, the Insanium Essence. And this is what I typically like to do, and because I want to make sure this fills up. So let's go ahead and make it so this whole thing can technically fill up with Inferium Essence, because that's what usually is consumed the most. It's not going to matter, though, I don't think, with this being filled up. But we can hit Remember, and that's going to remember all of the essence that's been put in here, so we don't have to worry about it moving forward. Now, for the fun part, setting our recipes. All of these recipes, I believe, are going to be set to EXTC. So exit, and then that's going to make sure the infusion crystal stays inside of the input while, or actually, sorry, this will be input. Everything except for the last craft, my bad, is going to be set to just in which is the results are going to go into the input here. So I'm going to go ahead and set the first one, master infusion crystal, and then hit apply. And then that's now set. And then we can continue and move into the next one. Like I said, everything's going to be set to this INT except for the Insanium. Now here we are with the last one. So we'll set this to EXTC. And so that's going to take the crafting operations. We'll go to the output buffer, but the things that were used to craft the object, such as buckets and stuff, will stay into the input. And that will output Insanium essence into this. And then we need to technically set up a filter. I don't think it can, actually, no, we'll leave it without a filter because I don't think it can pull from the input, regardless of how much this actually wants to. So we should be fine. And so all of this is now set up. There we go. It looks a lot less than you would think, but that's because we don't have a selection for inferior essence because we're just pulling from that. All right, I think this is ready to go. I just need a point that is going to just maintain power. And then we'll have mystical agriculture basically automated. So that's going to fill up. Very, very nice. And as you can see, it already did some Insanium crafts. And let's go ahead and get our laser wrench. And then we'll go ahead and link these together. So we'll just select that. That should go at an insane rate. You can see way faster than this can handle. And that's even set to its max mode. And then we're going to send this into this. And I think we need to make sure and set the slot. There we go. And as you can see, that starts to fill up. And that is slowly but surely crafting things up all the way up through the max tier. So that's just how fast it's going to go. Believe me, we are in the fastest mode, as you can see. And just letting it rip. Now, I think the craziest thing is, to put in perspective, is one Insanium, I believe, is equal to 128 essence, base essence, or sorry, 1028 essence, right? So one Insanium is crafted up that way, which I believe is 4 to the power of 5. And that's how you end up getting that math situated there. But goodness, it is a lot of base essence per one Insanium. Now, the cool part is now that this is done, well, it makes auto crafting a lot easier for me because all I have to do is basically say essence, and taking all of this essence and going from Insanium, and we just basically say, hey, craft it down into Supremium, and then that is the recipe for Supremium. And then we say, well, how do we craft this down? So we need to hit U on here, and then we can craft down into the next tier, and so on and so forth. Now, I was thinking in terms of refined storage that I was going to need to have this redstone setup that automatically shuts off my my exporter here once it has so much inside of that drawer. And so I did set this up, but I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be removing this. I don't need it. But for right now, I do want to show how this redstone works. So I basically have this set to emit a signal when it goes below this amount for inferior essence in that drawer. And then I have a redstone card that is connected into here that's basically saying emit a redstone signal on this channel and input. And so it's going to take this redstone, send it to this, and which is linked into our laser nodes here. And basically I have the redstone control set up on this item card that says when it receives a signal, stop. And when it receives a signal, it's going to go in here. But I'm going to be turning this off and just set to ignored because we don't actually need this at all. We don't need any of this. So the reason why is because I was thinking it was like refined storage, but no. The way this is going to work is if I craft all the way down, even to inferior essence, it's going to store that inside of the crafters. And so it will always hold that, so I don't have to worry about an endless loop happening. So you can see right here, it's down to 0. And that's what we kind of want. We want any new items to be generated and moved up here into Insanium. And yeah, so this should work. And if we do a craft now, for example, if I make this pattern, which I think that was the last thing I needed to make, was the pattern to create the actual base essence. We should be able to, if anything needs this essence, it's going to, like I said, store all of this inside of our crafting CPUs. So that's pretty nice. That's a nice little thing. So you don't have to really worry too much. And who was it that said refined storage was better than applied logistics? Yeah, this. Now to get into the awaken stuff, now that we have the automation set up, we need to talk a little bit about that. And inside of the quest under the mystical agriculture, I believe that it gives us a little bit of an introduction to the awakening right here, and sort of explains that we're going to need this, but we also need this cognizant dust. And believe it or not, I just accepted my quests here, and one of the rewards that it gave me was the book that we need, which is Mystical Enlightenment. And apparently this can be enchanted only on mystical weapons and only drops that cognizant dust when we manually kill the wither. Of course, we know how we're going to manually kill the wither. It is quite actually easy to kill the wither using the end portal. So this will be pretty nice. But I do want to make myself a high tier mystical agriculture sword in order to make this process a little bit easier. And so the higher tier swords, let's see, right here, or weapons or any of this, I believe it's Supremium. I don't think there's an Insanium version. However, there is an awakened version of this sword. So yes, I think just making the basic sword and then learning how we're going to put the augments on it is really going to help out. But you can see, this is how the crafting recipes are going to take place. This is why having that crafting set up is super nice. So you don't have to worry about all of these crafts. You can just let the refined storage or applied logistics do all the work. So yeah, the basic sword, we're going to basically need a diamond, auto-crafted, ready to go. And then these all need to be auto-crafted. So thankfully, when you craft up your first gem, you don't really have to worry about too much else after that. Just going to have to get these done. Once you have them done once, you can make basically any tool or any armor very quickly. So yeah, I definitely recommend getting this set up on AutoCraft. You do not want to be sitting here doing this manually by hand. Oh man, it would just take so long to do. So there we go. We have ourselves our weapon, and then I'm just going to place this down here, and this should craft very quickly. Because we're going to be crafting down, it should work out. So let's see. Sword. Craft up the Supremium sword. There's everything required. It's doing every craft for that. And it's done. And so there we go. We have ourselves a Supremium sword. Now we got to get this thing enchanted. Now to augment any of our weapons, we are going to need ourselves a base augment here. And this gets done inside of this crafting. So we basically place the augment, but we do need the things that we want. So I'm going to be going for strength. So you can see right here, the first set is going to be using quartz and tritium with some iron. So iron swords. Let's go ahead and make a couple of those. I think 4 of them, and then up to diamond, which we do have auto crafting set up for these. So that should be pretty straightforward. There we go. And then we have the different essences that we're going to need. This is the base that it's going to start with. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 swords. And then I believe, is that it for this? Oh, also quartz, right? Quartz for all of this. And so this is going to be giving me strength on this. I just want more damage. And so this will allow me to get more damage from this. And then everything's going to be modified inside of this tinkering table. It's going to allow me to modify this sword. Of course, I want to upgrade this one, and that's going to be moving into the next level. 4 of these. And then, of course, more iron swords. And then 2 more blocks of quartz. And then that will allow me to upgrade it next. And then, of course, we're going to put the max, which I believe is the tier 3, right? So, yeah, this doesn't go up any higher than the tier 3 augment. So we can put this in the modification table, and you can see we're going to get a strength slot. And that takes us from a base of 24 damage all the way up to 44 attack damage, which is significantly more. Now for the fun part, and that's going to be enchanting this thing. And this is what I'm kind of curious about. By default, can this just get the enchant that's needed? That's what I'm wondering. I see that it puts sharpness on here, and then we have the default strength. But does it produce this mystical enlightenment that we need in order to get that essence? Because this does have to be enchanted with this enchant. Now, I know we just have 1 on here, but I'm wondering how would we have even gotten it? Oh, there it is. So never mind. Mystical enlightenment right there with sharpness. That's about as good as it's going to get. I am going to be keeping that. I think the only thing that can make this better is maybe adding looting to the sword. I think, I guess looting might give us a better chance. And there we go. We'll just put this amount of looting on here and call it call it even there, I think. That's pretty darn good. Now, you know, I still need to get my dragon a kill, the other dragon kill that's remaining. And this essence also does apparently drop if you kill the dragon with this. So might as well go through that process again. Yeah, having mechanism armor is so nice because we can just straight up just hand break these and it like causes no problem at all to us. What even? I almost wonder, I wonder how much damage this sword is going to do. Like how quickly are we going to be able to kill the dragon with this now 44 damage sword that doesn't have to worry about any magic because it's just like direct damage. I wonder. Right, so it's coming in for a landing. And let's see. Are we going to wreck this dragon? Not as much as I thought I was going to do. Yeah, I thought I was going to be doing significantly more damage. Probably best to just chase the dragon around and slot it. Just completely swat it to death. It seems like the mech armor removes the knockback that the dragon normally would give you. That's kind of cool. And 14 cognizant essence that we got from that, which is perfect. That's more than actually I think we needed. But I am going to kill the wither a couple of times to see how much it drops. Look at him go. Now I did empty my inventory. The wither's also pretty easy to kill with this sword. Like literally a couple of swipes. And how much did we get from it? So we got 8. So you get 14, it looks like, with this setup with a max 5 on here. And that might be a little randomized. I don't know the exact amount, but I did get 8 from doing 1 wither. Now, in order for me to make the awakened stuff, I am going to need some soul stone, which means I'm going to need the one thing that I didn't automate, and that was soul sand production, because I really didn't think it was super necessary. So what I've done is I've just basically taken some soul sand, and I'm just tossing it into one of my, just manually into one of my sieves and letting that go ahead and process it. And then I'm just grabbing what it's producing over here because I'm not going to need a whole lot of this resource, just enough for this particular application. And so I have all of the solium dust that we need, but I'm going to have to do a barrel setup with witch water. Yep. So I am going to need some water from any source. I think I can just probably tap in to this particular source over here. Or actually, I guess I could tap into the source back here. That kind of works out. And then that's going to feed water into this. And then we need the mycelium to make the witch water underneath, like so, to convert that over. And then I'm just going to need a hopper or a pipe, probably just a hopper. I feel like that is the simplest way to do this. And then use a pipe. I guess I could just use a pipe for both. Yeah, I'm going to need this to basically create this material I'm going to be making, which is going to be the soul stone. And this is going to require witch water, the soul dust going on top, and producing that stone. So very interesting. Basically, I was like, oh man, shoot, I did not sieve any of the soul sand because I thought it was kind of unnecessary because it didn't really seem like there was a whole lot of uses at the time. But yeah, now I know, and I'm going to need that, right? So I'm going to put that in there. Basically just getting this converted. As you can see, it does take a little bit of time. I don't think accelerating this will work too much. I guess this would accelerate the production of witch water. And by the way, this just is so additive. Like, you just keep doing this and it makes it faster and faster. But there we go. We're producing the soul stone, and I only need a few of it. So there we go. I have all of the ingredients ready to go, and I extended some platforms up here. And of course, if you got the world download, you did get the world download with these extended platforms added onto it. But right here in the center, I'm going to center myself up. I'm actually going to place this right here. It does need a redstone signal in order for it to do its operation, just like the other altar from Mystical. And you can see right here, it shows you what you need. You're going to need 4 of these essence vessels, and then the awakened pedestals. So this is all new to me, by the way, because I have never done this operation. I believe this is a fairly new addition to mystical agriculture. And there we go. So pretty darn cool. Now moving forward as to what can we craft with this? Well, we should be able to awaken our tool here. However, we do need awakened ingots, and that is one of the things that we need to make, which means we need to make this awakened block, which is, I believe, what is required. One of these things, if I remember correctly, requires this. Yeah. So we basically need to make an awakened supremium furnace. That is one of the things that requires this. and that's going to require these ingots, which means we're going to need at least a block. So let's go ahead and craft our first awakened block. This is going to require all those essences that we made and a supremium block. So let's make sure we have enough supremium. We have so many items in here now. Got to make sure we have enough and can search everything effectively. Okay, so there's our block. Then we need our essences that are down here. I'm just going to grab a stack of each one. And I think these just directly get applied into this. So you can see right there that applied that essence. That's pretty cool. There's that essence and this essence. And those are filled up. That's pretty neat. And then last but not least, we need the cognizant dust. So that cognizant dust that we just farmed, we need to place that on the pedestal. And last but not least, the supremium block. And this will get us the awakened material that we need. Oh boy. And is this it doesn't take any longer? No. It just uses up a little bit of that essence. And there we go. We have an awakened version of this, and that's pretty sick. Now, I think the main thing that we definitely want to get our hands on before we start making any extra tools is figuring out all the things that are needed that use this in the Aldemodium star. So now, after taking a look, it does appear that really all we need to make is the awakened supremium furnace, which apparently has a 20,000% cooking speed. I've got to see what this looks like when we get this crafted. But so basically that's the only thing aside from the awakened obtainium blocks, which will just basically, I guess, send the essence to this. And it's going to require, it doesn't require any of the cognizant to make this. So this does happen in that same crafting grid. So pretty interesting. I'm going to take this and now make myself 2 ingots and 2 of the crystals. And this is what we need in order to make the awakened furnace. So let's make a supremium furnace. Went ahead and got all the crafting stuff set up for that. And it barely even touches our essence. Kind of mind-boggling when you think about that. And I think that's it, right? So yeah, this is just going to take the 2 new ingots and the crystal and then just place this in. And this is going to be one of the other components of the Aldemod star. We're getting close. We're getting very close to that Aldemod star completion. I've got to see what this looks like. So let's just use regular coal for right now. And let's just do some raw iron ore. I've got to see this. This has got to be ridiculous. Yeah, that's, I mean, honestly, I wish it did like a full stack. That'd be pretty cool. If it was just like an instantaneous stack. But that's really fast. Like that is, don't get me wrong, it's pretty darn quick. And there we go. So now we have ourselves an awakened supremium furnace. Now I think to automate this in a kind of interesting way, I'm going to use modular routers yet again on top of these drawers for the essences. And then I'm going to make a puller upgrade that is basically going to pull from the down on all of these. And then I can go ahead and separate them out so I can configure each one specifically, because I don't want to be pulling the seeds. So for example, on this, I'm going to go ahead and whitelist filter this and so on and so forth. So in that module, you can see it's going to be pulling that in. And then for this one, we'll make sure to set that filter. And then that's going to pull here. And then of course, we're going to wirelessly send these items with the MK2 and some range augments. So I'm thinking this should work. I'm going to go ahead and select this one, for example. I'm going to do these one at a time. Earth Essence, I'm going to stand on it. And that should be able to send to this. We need to find the Earth Essence one, which is this one right here. And there we go. As you can see, that's starting to send. Of course, there's no speed augments or anything like that. But yeah, that's going to allow it to maintain up here. So of course, now to just upgrade our sword to the awakened version. There we go. And that should just automatically stay full. As soon as it uses it up, it'll automatically refill. Look at that. That is perfect. This is going to make it so much easier later on. Now, making this awakened, it really doesn't seem like it did a whole lot to it. We are now at 52 attack damage, and I don't, of course, have like multiple strength enchants on here, which you could take this and keep going higher and higher. But yeah, it does increase the base. It does appear by like ever so slightly. So the normal is going to have a 24 base attack damage, and this is going to have a 29 attack damage. So something that is interesting, because this is awakened, I guess the major thing is it did make a new slot in our tinkering table, so I could put another upgrade in here. I don't know if I could put another strength augment in here, but there is another slot now that is unlocked, and there wasn't one unlocked before. So guys, with that, I would say, well, we've awakened something new. And of course, I'm excited to see what that is as we venture further into this pack. Of course, we are unlocking all kinds of possibilities, and there's a lot more cool things to look forward to. So be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we explore new mods coming soon. So hope you guys are ready for that. And of course, guys, thank you so much for clicking that like button, and it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to Jari. Thank you so much for your amazing support. By the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. Of course, guys, if you do enjoy this content and you're looking to potentially support yourself, all you gotta do is go to Discord at discord.gg/ChosenArchitect, or find it linked down in the description below, and join the amazing community today. By the way, we are getting over 30,000 members now, which is kind of just mind-boggling. And I just want to say thank you guys, all of you who have joined the Discord and you know, hung out in the community. I appreciate you guys. And guys, of course, with that said, as always, thanks for watching. Bye.